Hi guys, welcome to this week's video tutorial. Basically trying to do some more photography whilst indoors and keep my brain occupied. And what I'm going to be doing today is something that I've done before in the past, and I thought it would be quite good to make a video tutorial about it. Now unfortunately we've had a family bereavement in our household, and nothing to do with coronavirus of course, but it does mean the fact is that we've been sent flowers, which are beautiful. I'm very lucky to receive them, and so I just thought that as we've got these really nice flowers here, it would be nice to make a video tutorial talking about taking images of flowers indoors, what equipment you could use. Obviously it's not gospel, there will be equipment that you could use instead of what I'm going to be using. But just really to talk through my process, maybe look at a bit of editing on the computer, and just to see really where we go. So I just thought, yeah, let's put this video together. Flowers are fairly easy to come by. If you have a very nice garden, by all means you could go in there and pick them, bring them indoors. It's up to you if you want to do that. But most supermarkets will have flowers. Most petrol stations, if you're kind of tight, will have flowers. Obviously ours have come from an extremely good florist locally to where we live, so there are options of sourcing the flowers. So obviously I've got, ooh, look at that, I've got it set up behind me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump behind the camera and show you guys exactly what I'm looking at and what gear we will be using. Alright, let me jump behind the camera. Okay, so the first thing is I've got this by here, and it's a fantastic flash gun, studio power flash gun. It's the Godox or newer AD200. On the front by here, okay, is this small softbox, which is a beauty dish, and that works extremely well, but I'm not using that because it's far too overkill for what we are doing. And what's going to happen is that when we take a picture of our flower by here, it's going to be a little bit too powerful and too direct, so I'm not using that today. Just to quickly show you what I've got by here, so this is a peony, I think peony flower, my wife's favorite flowers, and we're obviously extremely lucky to get these flowers. And I've got this just set up by here on a simple table from the living room. There's a white piece of foam board by here. That white foam board, all it does, it's just there just to bounce light. It's not doing anything else apart from that. If I was to go and look at it nice and close, you will see it's damaged and it's wrecked, etc. It's not there to be in the picture. It's just there just to give obviously a bit of white light coming back up. The background by here, now I mean, I've obviously got this taped to this sort of like background support stand by here, but of course you could do it, you could obviously attach this to absolutely anything. You self-tape it to a wall if you really wanted to. And what I've got by here, I've got I've got this blue, this green by here. There's a cream behind it. If I jump back over to the computer area by here, I've got this really bright yellow, which I really like, and I've got this blue as well. Now these came from where did I buy these from? The Range. These came from the Range. They're 50 by 65 centimeters, pastel paper, and I got a feeling they were like £1.50 each. So there we go, £6 gets me 4 different color backdrops. There's my flower by there. This beautiful peony, which is by there, and what I've done, I've taken it out of the bouquet and I've put it here in this port decanter. And the reason why I put it in this is that, as you can see, it's got quite a narrow opening by here, and I wanted to be able to try and have the flower more upright and not flop into the sides. Again, you can use absolutely anything. The good thing about doing photography at home is you can obviously do it on a bit of a wing and a prayer, in terms of the gear that you've got. As I said, this could obviously just be taped to the wall, and that could be in a pint glass. No one's going to see it. but the paper obviously I know is kind of good. I'm going to start by using the green first of all, because apparently, according to my wife, this complements the colour scheme in our bedroom. So that okay is everything else. Let's jump to my camera and see that then, which is down here. Okay, so what I've got by here then, okay, is my Pentax K1. It's got the grip on. You don't have to have the grip. I only just put it on because it does make it a little bit easier sometimes for going from vertical to horizontal, but you don't have to have that. But anyway, one camera by here, Pentax K1, full frame camera. You know, any camera will do as long as obviously it takes a picture. Basically, this by here is a light tight box, and it makes no difference what you're using. This just takes a picture. On the front then by here, I've got my Tamron 90mm macro lens. I have taken some pictures earlier on today, I won't lie, and I'll put them up at the end of the video, and these were taken whilst that flower was actually in situ in the bouquet. But the actual technique I'll be doing in a second is exactly the same, but these pictures I'll tag on to the end of this video so you can see. Up top then by here is the Pentax 540 FGZ2. Again, it doesn't have to be this fancy. Any flash will do. I mean, all we're going to be doing by here is firing a flash. As long as you can control the manual power outputs, or if it's TTL, then that's all that matters. So something like a Yongnuo 560 flash, for instance, you probably pick up for about 30-40 quid. We'll do exactly as the same thing. I was shooting this earlier on in TTL, and I had no problems whatsoever with it. So that's basically this by here. One camera, one lens, ideally a macro lens, because we can go in nice and close. I'll be doing that in the video. And one flash gun, which allows me to, to be able to tilt and zoom the head. That's basically it. So now we've talked about the camera and we've talked about the actual subject. I'm going to just quickly show you by here that I am in my X sync mode by here. This basically is the fastest shutter speed that my camera will sync the flash to. It doesn't have to be in this. It could obviously be in full manual. Makes no difference because the flash is going to pretty much overpower all the ambient light which is here, so it makes no difference whether I shoot actually a 30th of a second, a 60th, 1/25th, whatever. At the end of the day, this flash will overpower any ambient light, so I set it to the fastest possible shutter speed I can. On the other side then, it's going to be ISO 100, and I'll probably be shooting somewhere around about f4 or maybe f4 to f5.6. We could shoot f2.8. Some of the close-up images I will be doing of the petals, I will probably shoot f2.8 to go for that dreamy, buttery sort of bokeh look. But most of it will be shot around about f4 to f5.6. If I try and get the whole flower in over here, so if I'm going to shoot around about f4 to f5.6 with a 90mm lens, I can obviously come back to obviously fill the frame, and that's got a pretty good depth of field for what I want to do. Okay, so let me show you exactly how I'm going to do this then with my technique. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see me and you can see my head, and I haven't cut my own head off. So as you can see, no fancy studio equipment is required. Literally one lens, one camera, one standard flash gun. Now, when I come to take the picture, I'm not going to be just pointing at my camera and my flash at the subject, okay, because the light is going to come out here, it's going to obviously hit this, it's going to be really harsh, and it will cause shadows in the background. I don't want that. What I want is soft, subtle lighting, because this is a flower, and a flower does obviously require soft, subtle lighting. Now there will be times where maybe you want to obviously have something a bit more sort of in your face, stark, direct, for a bit of contrast, for a bit of edgy. But for what I want to do today, I want to keep it soft, I want to keep it nice and gentle. So as you can see, my ceiling is white, and that's perfect, because when I come to take my picture in a second, my flash gun is going to be pointed up. Now by pointing my flash up, it basically hits the ceiling. The ceiling's white. It acts as a massive diffuser, and what happens is it hits this and the light will bounce back, but it bounces back scattered, and it's white, so it's white scattered light. So what I've really got by here is a massive softbox, just literally pouring down light onto my subject. My walls are white as well, bar my canvases, and that means that they will also be bouncing light around. So in theory, I'm in like a massive softbox. So turning my camera on, turning my flash on. I'm going to keep it in TTL first of all. The Pentax flash does a fantastic job, so you know, if that's happy, I'm going to leave it. Okay, camera set to ISO 100. I'm at f6.3. I said f4 to 5.6. I'm going to start at 6.3. That's where my camera is at the moment. I'm currently at 200 per second. So they're basically my settings in here. The only thing I should tell you, okay, is the fact that I've turned obviously single shot on. So I don't need to rattle off machine gun mode. So let's take a quick test look and a test shot and see how this looks. Okay, so one test shot by here. Oh, gone off. Okay, now for me, I'm happy with how this looks out the camera. Some of you may think, oh, do you know what, you could brighten it up a bit. Well, yeah, I could brighten up a bit. What I could do by here now is maybe obviously open the aperture up, and that's going to obviously give me a bit more flash power. I mean, I could obviously start playing with these settings by here, but let's try and keep it simple. Before I go into manual flash settings, let's just turn the, this aperture. Let's open it up a bit, and let's see if that obviously brightens up my picture. I'm gonna go f5. So I was at 6.3. Did I say earlier on? Can't remember. But I'm now at f5. So that's, according to me now, that's not one full stop. That's 2 clicks with 2/3 exposure open. Now personally I think just by doing that by there, that now looks a bit brighter than what we had before. So I've got this green background, and you can see that the way obviously the light's hitting this room by here, that green, it's more of a grey look at the moment. Now I could, if I want to, introduce a second flash gun into this by here. Couldn't leave it that way, and I had to get that second flash out to put a bit of light on that background to show you the difference obviously that would make. So anyway, let me show this really quickly, okay, and then at the end of the video. So look what I've got by here. Down there is a very over there majority of directional mics. So that's a very cheap Slave flash gun, Andover 560. I bought it off Amazon yonks ago from a lady up the road for a tenner. But that's down there, and you can see it's literally just pointing up by here to give me some light. Main subject, light, and that's basically it. That second flash gun, but there, nothing fancy, no fancy sort of stands or anything else. It literally is on a small nest of tables. So let me put this back here, hopefully in the same sort of place. Grab the camera, take a quick picture with this setup now. There we are, look. It's just obviously just gives it a bit nicer light in there. So anyway, I'm going to continue probably playing with this now, taking some more pictures, maybe just starting the power up on that second flash a little bit higher, see what that's like. I won't bore you with that. I said it's the end of the video. It is the end of the video after the pictures, which are coming up now. start of the video I did say I shot these flowers a few days ago when they were in the bouquet still, and it's the same setup using the 90mm macro lens and flash pointed at the ceiling for soft diffused light. Anyway, hope you like them and hope you think they look a bit like wall art like I do, and I look forward to maybe printing one. Anyway, here they are.